Thank you all so much for being here tonight and good evening. My name is Vanessa Lee and I'll be your MC today. So it is my absolute honor to introduce Tunein Tong, who is our founding president of ILF, president and CEO of National ACE, National Chamber of Commerce of Asian Pacific American Community, and also she has served 4 presidents in the U.S. It's my honor to introduce Tunein Tong. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much for your service. We are just so grateful you are able, to be a part of the ILF family. Thank you so much. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, especially Director General Zheng, thank you all for coming to today's event. I just have to tell you, I have been interviewed by media or Chinese media, and during the interview, I was just keep telling them, myself, I have worked for public service for over 25 years, but I just feel so grateful. Wherever I go, I've always have seen very inspirational stories all over from our community. I am just so proud of our community. If you look at Xiaoyan just had an operation, but she insists she still wants to keep this event going on. And I said, Xiaoyan, you have to take care of your health first. But this is her passion. This is her hobby. And she loves our community. She loves to dedicate her time and effort to the next generation. So let's give Xiaoyan a round of applause. Xiaoyan inspired me so much. Xiaoyan touched my heart. And I just say, Xiaoyan, I want to follow you the rest of my life, because every time I look at her, I really feel I'm doing a very meaningful work, because with Xiaoyan's trust and Xiaoyan's support, we're able to continue this project. This is our 25 years anniversary, and it's just because people like Xiaoyan and all the advisors in this community and each one of you, because of you, we're able to work in Washington, D.C. My name is Tunein Tong. I'm the President and CEO of the National Asian Chamber of Commerce and Entrepreneurship. This is my full-time job. Last year, we have worked with White House Initiative on ANGPI to put the economic summit together. And then yesterday, I had a roundtable at the Filipino Community Center. So ILF is my passion project. And my husband and I would have been volunteer for this work for 25 years. But we just love it because we are able to see all the young generation, they are better than we are. I want to highlight the one individual, Clayton Fang, because when I was struggling as a civil servant at the EDD, and he was the one working for governor's office, and he was able to help me to promote me to Sacramento to be a part of Governor Wilson's appointee. So I really appreciate Clayton Fang, because of people like Clayton Fang, we are helping our community to promote them and also to cultivate them in order to get better benefit for our community. Let's give a round of applause for Clayton. So the AAPI community is the fastest growing ethnic group, and we are the largest consumer of technology product. Last year, our purchasing power is about $1.3 trillion. This year is about $1.6 trillion. But our representation is still very low across the board. And if we look at our member of Congress, we should have 30, but we only have 24 right now. And we are hoping we can get more people get elected this year. And for senior executive service at a federal agency, it's only 4%. Fortune 500 board of directors is 5%, and Fortune 100 CEO is only 2%. So that's the purpose of the International Leadership Foundation. We want our young leaders to be, we are our next generation to be the leaders. This is the work. Although we work very, very hard, still not enough. We really need to push more young generation to be the leaders in mainstream. So although we give them the training at the White House, and federal agency, and also congressional offices, the purpose is to have them to understand leadership and public policy. In the future, they can apply to their professional fields. If they're a doctor, someday they may be the administrator, or president, or CEO of a hospital. If they are a teacher, maybe they could be the president of university or school. So they have to understand the policy, and then they apply to their leadership work in the future. Also, one of the reporters just asked me, why are you interested in this community work? Because it's just my passion. I love to be with people. But then I realized why this makes me so happy, because Harvard just had a release a study. Rich and famous cannot bring you happiness, but your engagement with the people around you can bring you happiness. With your spouse, with your friends, especially with your community. So this kind of work made me happy, and also I hope the next generation, they can engage to the community and pay back to the community, because in the future, they will be our leader. They need to know our community. A lot of advisors here, they are doing not for themselves, but just for the next generation. So a lot of time I talk to our young fellows. So those people invest on you, they do not even know you. But they know you are the leader of our, you will be the leader for our community in the future. So they trust you, they are willing to invest in you. So thank you again. Thank you. Without your support, we cannot go that far. Thank you again for your time and your efforts. Thank you. So at this time, I want to present very, very special gift to Xiaoyan Wu, because Xiaoyan is always in my heart and with all the advisors, but I really want to bring the White House to her beautiful house. Xiaoyan, please come forward to receive this. The gift from the White House. Oh, thank you very much.
Thank you, Joy Han. Thank you, Xiaoyan. Truly, her speech is so inspiring. I just feel like listening to her, I feel so passionate. And she's so right about how you're investing in our future leaders. I've had many great mentors, Xiaoyan Wu, Crystal, who's here today with us. She also was a civic fellow right before me and gave me great guidance in the ILF process. And I'm so excited to pass it on to the next person, next generation. And you being here today, investing in ILF, you're doing the same and more. So thank you for being here. And then next, moving along our agenda, we'd like to invite some public officials to make some remarks. First, I would like to invite our Daniel Ko Chen, who is part of Taipei Economic and Cultural Office in Seattle.
It's always a pleasure to be here. Xiaoyan's place here is like the sanctuary, or if you want to run office, you run with fun, it's a place you have to be. So, and also it's a very good time for the ILF to choose this as your 25th anniversary event. So I believe that we're going to bring more leaders over here. So Washington State, I think in the King County especially, we have 11% of population identify themselves as Asian. So about 40% of our Washington GDP rely on our trade with foreign countries. So you can see we have a very vibrant culture and very diversified culture. So ILF has done a tremendous job helping the younger generation to provide them with the scholarship and some opportunity in the federal government. Watching the video just a couple minutes ago reminds me of my work days in Washington DC. So many federal government agencies and so many think tanks. So there's a really a good opportunity. I hope I can be join them when I was in Washington DC. So I'd like to thank Jimmy and Joy for your effort in helping the younger generations. Again, so welcome to be here and welcome to the Xiaoyan's place. So thank you very much and enjoy this event.
Thank you so much for your remarks. Next, I would like to introduce is our Senator District Number 46, Javier Valdez, to speak on a few points.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon.
Afternoon.
Wow. Well, thank you for being here. I'm Javier Valdez, State Senator from the 46th Legislative District, and you are actually in the 46th Legislative District, right here in Northeast Seattle. So thank you for being here, Xiaoyan. Thank you for the invitation to be here. As I was watching the video and had all these young people talking about being in program and being mentored, I was lucky when it's been many years ago, when I was in high school, I was part of a leadership program of 100 high school students that got us involved in leadership, which eventually kind of got the bug going for me to be in public service. And so when I see videos like that, when I hear comments about paying it forward and making sure the next generation has opportunities, that's what ILF is all about, and making sure that we're paying it forward, making sure future generations have an opportunity to succeed, and making sure that, again, our communities, people, in particular people of color, have representation at all levels of government, not just in certain sectors. So I'm glad to be here, proud of the work and your support of all you do here for ILF, and thank you for having me here today. Xiaoyan, again, thank you so much for inviting me. Thank you.
And next, I would like to introduce our Chief Diaz, who is the Seattle Police Department Chief, to make a few remarks.
Thank you for having me here. Really excited to be in your home. I actually came down here at 2 o'clock. I gave an amazing speech. I know no one was here. But honestly, I wish I would have had a program like this when I was younger, because it really gives you not just an opportunity to understand what it feels like to sit at the table, but also to have a voice and to understand that you feel comfortable making sure that voice is not only heard, but it is acted upon. And as I think about service, as I tell everyone, we're hiring, but really anything that you're doing in public service, or even just the programs like this to make sure that our youth have these opportunities, I'm reminded of a quote that says, "Service is a rent that we pay for room on this earth," which is done by Shirley Chisholm. And it really is so true to everything. For everybody that's been in this room, you're all helping out the next generation. You're making sure that that generation strives to be committed to that service, to be committed to helping out others. And it's really important. So thank you for letting me be a part of this. I'm sorry I won't be able to stay for the whole event, but really it's such an honor to be present, and thank you again for starting this initiative up as well.
Next, I would like to invite our City Council member, Tanya Wu, to make
Hi, my name is Tanya Wu. I am the Seattle City Council member citywide. Councilmember Kathy Moore is here as well. And we have a colleague, Councilmember Hollingsworth, who always says to know your greatness is to know your history. And I think it's really important that growing up, I saw so many inspiring people like Auntie Xiaoyan, who was like the first female president of so many organizations, and being able to see somebody who looked like me become a leader has really made me who I am today. And so I have so much to be thankful for. And the Chinese community, AA and HPI community, all the communities of color, we fought so hard to have what we have today. We fought so hard for all the organizations that we have and all of the communities that have been put together in the last couple of years. And the fight's not over. There's just so much work to be done. And so I am so honored and inspired that I have so many amazing mentors here in this room, and so many aunties and uncles who have helped me with my journey along the way. And now I look to the next generation, our young people, all Vanessa and her cohort, everybody. We depend on you now. It's your turn, it's your generation that's really going to continue the fight, continue the work and making sure that all of our issues, our voice is heard, and that our communities will be able to be seen and have a voice in what happens in the next couple of years. There are a lot of things that are happening not only on the local level, but also the state and the federal and the international level. And it's just so amazing to see so many young people here today. And I'm excited for you and can't wait to see all the amazing things that you will do. Thank you.
Next, I would like to invite Seattle Councilmember Marisa Rivera to make a few remarks.
Thank you all for having me here. This is such a great event. I love events that center around supporting youth. It is so important to support our youth across Seattle and across, just cultures. And, I'm a Latina woman who grew up in a very difficult neighborhood, and I had when Councilmember Wu was talking about having lots of mentors, I also had mentors that helped support me and helped me lift out of a difficult neighborhood and economic environment, and is the reason why I'm here today. So it is so important to support our youth, to give scholarships, to mentor both professionally and socially, so that we give really the youth the opportunities to have these experiences and internationally as well. And so I want to thank you all for the work that you do to support our youth. And I'm just so proud to be here and a part of it. So thank you so much.
Next, it is my honor to introduce and have Seattle Councilmember Kathy Moore to speak a few remarks.
Well, thank you so much. It's such a privilege to be here. I'm Kathy Moore. I'm the newly elected City Council member for District 5, which is all of the North Seattle from 85th to 135th. Just watching this video, I just felt so much pride in the young people who were illustrated there. You also, I think, made me feel very old. But it's so exciting to see the next generation. There's just so much amazing work to be done in our community. Public service it's undervalued, and it is so incredibly important. And it gives me such great faith to know that we are creating the next generation who's going to take the lead and make it even a better world for us. So thank you to all of you who are participating in the program, the people who've made it possible, the people working behind the scenes to make sure that these opportunities are provided. And I'm just so honored to be your representative. I'm really honored to work with Councilmember Tanya Wu and also Councilmember Rivera. And we are very much committed to making sure that every voice is heard at the council and expanding opportunities for the entire AAPI community. So thank you so much.
Next, I would like to invite up Keith Scully, who is a council member for our city of Shoreline.
Thank you. Honored to be here again. So I want to speak first about Xiaoyan Wu. I know her through a couple of different arenas. I know her through work. I serve as her attorney on occasion. I know her through politics, and I'm proud to call her a friend. A couple of things that struck me about her, and stuff people have told me over the years, is a few amazing things she's done. She was one of the first Chinese Americans to invest heavily in real estate north of the Ship Canal, and she made a very successful business empire up here. It's a business empire founded on fairness, on treating everybody well, on being a shrewd business person, but also looking out for the people who work for her and the people who are her tenants where she does business with them. But that's not enough, because Xiaoyan Wu has unlimited energy. And as someone else said, she's the president of so many boards, I'm sure not even she remembers them. And what's really struck me is that she's focused on community. And in part, it's the community of folks who draw their descendancy from China, democratic China, but more, it's the community that's immediately around her. And she wants to make sure that not only this generation, but the next several generations have the institutions in place to succeed. ILF makes total sense, and when she told me at the door that she was holding this event despite the fact that her hand was in a cast because she just had surgery, I was a little surprised, but then I wasn't, because that is quintessential Xiaoyan.
Thank you. Thank you.
I want to say just a quick word about ILF too, and thank you all for your service to it. And I want to encourage the students who are involved in it to consider 2 careers you may not have thought of. One is policing. We have a shortage of police officers. We have a shortage of good people going in the police force. In Shoreline, we have put a lot of work into making sure our police force looks like our community, with partial success, because we need more young folks willing to consider policing as a career. And the second is local politics. I don't have an exciting job, right? The speeches are fun, but mostly those of us who run city councils are doing things like meeting with business owners and saying, what's going on? How can we make it better? We're meeting with folks who want their streets safer, people who want more parks. We're working out the nuts and bolts. The thing that struck me is how long it takes to get stuff done. It's my 9th year on council. Some of the things I started working on 9 years ago are just coming to fruition. If you start in local politics in your 70s, good. But if you start in local politics in your 20s, you can actually make a difference. So I would encourage the young folks to consider running for office or volunteering or otherwise getting involved. Thank you.
Next, I would like to invite up Councilmember Janice John from Bellevue City Council.
I just looked back, I didn't see all the people behind me. I am really delighted to be here. My name is Janice John. This is my 7th year of the Bellevue City Council, and I have to say that as an immigrant from Hong Kong, that's a Chinese American, I wish that we had an ILF 25 years ago when I was younger, because I do think that in our Asian culture, the very nature of how we grow up to be taught to be humble and not to make waves means that we don't always recognize just the power of our voice and what we can do. So for me, I am just so grateful when I met Xiaoyan and I learned about ILF, and also what Chilling talked about, which is that you can have leadership in your voice in so many different areas, whether it's on our city councils, at the county council, at the state or federal level as an elected official. But it's also equally important to take our talents and work in public government. So I will celebrate 20 years at the Port of Seattle, and I'm now the chief engineer at the port. I oversee over 150 people and over $5.5 billion worth of construction. And here's what I can tell you, is that when I was going through my career, no one came to me and said, Janice, we think that you can be a chief engineer someday. And you know why? Because people that look like us are not seen as the leaders. We're seen as the worker bees. And what I'm excited about this program is that ultimately it's about people believing in you. It's about the relationships that people can say, oh, do you know this person? Because they can open doors for you. And so I want to make sure that we are supporting programs like ILF and making sure that when we look around, we realize that the people that we're lifting up and bringing up is us. And that the more that we believe that as Asians, as Chinese Americans, that we are leaders, that we're going to lean into that, and we're going to see that for our younger generation, that they don't have to wait until they're in their 50s to realize that we can be in leadership. If we can have leaders that start in office in their 20s, my goodness, what could they do around our country? So I'm just really excited to be here in support of everything you do. Thank you.
Next, I would like to invite up our council member, City Council Edmonds Chen, to make a few remarks.
Thank you, Vanessa. Please give a hand for the wonderful job that Vanessa is emceeing. I'm humble and honored to be here, and so grateful for so many wonderful leaders in the room who paved the way for the youth. My name is Will Chen. I'm a first-generation immigrant. I came to this country when I was 24. At the beginning, I turned on the TV, sit there for 20 minutes, couldn't figure out what's going on. So it took me a long time, about 10 years. Went to ESL in Clinton, Iowa. CCC was the college that I get my associate degrees in accounting, while I worked 7 days a week in the restaurants, scraping and cleaning and cutting veggies. And I had a competition with my chief, my chef, lifting up the wok with full of water. See how long can you hold it? It was incredible journeys that come to being re-educated in the U.S. Educations from another country is not recognized here in the U.S. So after I get my master's degree in accounting, after I get my CPA, I get a real job. I never would dream that I would be a city council member. So 3 years ago, in up north in Evans, there was a great opportunity came up. I had so many friends, neighbors who encouraged me, including my beautiful wife, Lisa. Back there, she's a high school teacher in Shoreline, Sawgrass. Many people supported me, encouraged me to run, and I was like, there's nothing to lose. So I give my 100%. Even though there were many obstacles, was laid, roadblocks laid in front of me, but with great support and hard work, I became a council member. Now it's my 3rd year serving on the city council. So as I watched the videos of ILF and seeing so many inspiring stories that our youth was stepping up to learn to get into the leadership positions, I'm inspired myself. I often think, like Jenna said, 25 years ago, if we were to have this kind of program, to have this kind of opportunity, imagine the changes, the opportunities would have been very different. So I'm very honored and very encouraged to see the youth, the young people who step up and taking on those challenges, become the leaders of tomorrow. I want to stress one very important thing, is the youth voice do matter. If you look around, many of us are in our 40s, 50s, 60s, or even more mature. But the youth is our tomorrow. It goes from international policy, national policy, state and local policy, especially at the local level. What we decide is impacting people's life. Our policies on land use, our policies on how to deal with the homelessness issue that we are experiencing day in and day out in our neighborhood nowadays. It's so important that your voice, the youth voice, get heard. Because what happens today, with the decisions that we make today at the local level, it impacts your life in the future, 20 years from now, 30 years from now, 40 years from now. So it's incredibly important that you speak up. And ILF, International Leadership Foundation, is such an incredible organization that provides this platform for you to harness your skills, your leadership skills, and your ability. And we have a very, very incredible examples right here, Vanessa Lee. So thank you, and I appreciate you being here, and I'm humble and honored to be invited to be here.
I didn't get my name right away. Jared Newenhouse, Council Member, City of Bellevue. How is everybody? Good, great. Thank you so much. And thank you, Shoya, for inviting me here today. And especially thank you for putting all the balloons out. Otherwise, I would have been lost. My first time in your beautiful home, so thank you for inviting me, and thank you for allowing me to be a part of this support for this incredible organization in ILF. And so, as everyone has so eloquently already said, These types of organizations really help mentor and bring along the leaders of tomorrow, which I think everybody in here, all the elected leaders and those government workers, government law enforcement, we all need more youth represented throughout government, not only locally, but in the county, in the state, and federally. So thank you for letting me be a part of this, being part of this great organization. And Bellevue is with you and supports this organization, and anything else we can do, please know that you have a friend in Bellevue. So thanks again for having me here.
And I would like to invite an advisor and city council member of Newcastle, Sun Buford.
Hello everyone, it's my honor and I'm so humbled to be here with you all. First of all, I would like to thank dearly to Xiaoyan for all her tireless effort and years of dedication, and you are truly our role model. And I always look up to you. Also, thank you for all the leaders and so many familiar faces. My name is Sun Buford. Actually, I'm a teacher. This is my 18th year with the Bellevue School District. So, youth and education and empower our youth is really, really dear to my heart. I'm also happy to be a Newcastle City Council member to become the first Chinese American serve for the city of Newcastle. I'm so grateful. I see more familiar faces here. Hello, and thank you for all your support. I just want to thank this wonderful organization. I have attended this event for a few times. Each time I was really impressed by the stories and shared by the youth and the family and the conversation I had with everyone. So thank you for your leadership and really, really empower our next generation of the leaders. So everyone, kudos, big shout out to ILF. Everyone, give a big round of applause. I think it's more than ever, we really, really need to work together. And like Jenny said, in our Asian culture, traditionally we talk about doctors, lawyers, and now a lot of people in technologies, computer science. But really, really, we want to see more representations in every field, in every level, even make decisions for us. Not we are always a model citizen. We are a good listener. We obey the law. We do not speak up, and they don't see us. If we are not sitting around the table, we are truly on the menu, and we have been. So I really, really want to, from my personal story, I never even considered I would run. So I came here 25 years ago. May 3rd will mark my 25th anniversary to be in this country. Also, as first generation of American. And I only came here for American dream, for higher education, for a better life. And then one day, my community, they asked me to run. You know what I said? Before the COVID, I said no. And then during COVID, they asked me to run again. Really, really broken my heart, the hate towards Asia. So I said, it took me several weeks, and finally I decided I run. And then I'm so grateful. Throughout my campaign, I had my primary and general election. So I really, really, it's heartwarming to see the civic engagement from my students. And my campaign manager is my former student, who I taught for 3 years. And she knew me. She knows me here with her heart. That's why she came to me. She applied for the job. She said, I want to work for you because you are my dear teacher. You are the one for the city council position. So, we are adults. We want to pave up the way. Also, of course, thank you so much for all the pioneers, for all the leaders, for all you have been doing. I have done just my little tiny part. But it's really not enough. We need more people, more representation. That's why everyone here, we are all support this wonderful program. So thank you, and I'm so honored to be part of it. So I will always be your supporter and ask me in any way I can help. So it takes everybody's effort. So together, we are all better. Thank you.
Thank you everyone, all public officials, for taking time out of busy days to be here today. If there's anyone else that will be joining us later, or if you miss anyone, we will have you come up and make your remarks shortly. Next, it is my absolute honor to introduce our keynote speaker and also our founder of ILF, Chilling's husband. He's on the Amtrak Board of Directors, and he's been a high-level official in both the Democrat and Republican administration. It is my honor to introduce Joe Scott.
Vanessa, thank you very much. Thank you all for coming. It's my honor to be here. As Chilling mentioned, the ILF, is our passion project. We do this as volunteers. We started this, actually, as Clayton Fong knows, since he helped bring us together, as volunteers in Sacramento, California. Our first year, we brought together, I think, 6 fellows to intern in Sacramento. And we thought this would kind of be the scope of the project. We never envisioned it growing into an organization. We have 20 chapters nationwide, none more vigorous or better organized than Shaoyan here in Seattle. Thank you for that. And every year now, we bring over 30 civic fellows into Washington, D.C. So you saw the tape from last year's cohort. We had 32 fellows in your year. Crystal, do you remember how many fellows did we have in your year?
In my year, I believe it's around 32.
Yeah, okay, so this year we have 38 coming to Washington, D.C. And our staff is already in negotiations with federal agencies. 26 of them already have placements. The other 12 will be placed in time to start in June of this year. It's a remarkable organization, not just because the fellows get experience working in agencies in issue areas that matter to them and they care about their own future development, but most importantly for us, they also get the leadership training and development, and also importantly, an understanding of working in federal agencies that the federal government is not some weird out organization where the government says and we have to listen. The government is people just like us, and we're citizens, and the job of government is to respond to us. And so part of the International Leadership Foundation is teaching our future leaders that they can in fact be leaders and demand that government serve the community, not the other way around. That's our goal, and we are accomplishing that goal beyond the initial dreams of Chilling and I because of the support of each of you. And so I'm happy that after I speak and after Shaoyan speaks, the last thing that we'll do before we have dinner is that we are going to honor each of the 22 ILF advisors that Shaoyan and others here have recruited to help support the organization, because you are the heart and soul of the International Leadership Foundation. You are what makes it possible for us to pay forward to the next generation and to give them that leadership training. So in advance, I thank you for that, and I hope that you'll all stick around to thank them as we present them with their certificates for being the ILF advisors. But I just want to mention briefly why it's important that we are paying forward in teaching the next generation. One of the things that we're proudest most about America is that although we are a young country, but we are the oldest answer to the people of the country, not the other way around. I mean, our founding document says we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. And that's been the foundation of the country. Now, critics have said, well, that really makes us a hypocrisy, not a democracy. Because, of course, at the beginning of the country, all people were not equal. Women were second-class citizens. African Americans were slaves. The rights of Native Americans were ignored. But for optimists and for a scope of historians, there's the sense of that founding document, that all people, that all men were created equal, was set not as a statement of what was existing at the time, but this was an aspiration for what America could achieve. And over the years, we've made great progress in achieving that. With women's rights, with voting. We had the Chinese Exclusion Act. We deterred Japanese American citizens, U.S. citizens, during World War II because we did not trust them for their ancestry. But America apologized for each of those without having to overthrow the government, without having to change our systems. We recognized that what was wrong. We fought a civil war to abolish slavery. We had the civil rights movement to give further rights and equality for African Americans. We are not a perfect society, but as Martin Luther King said, the moral arc of the universe is long, but it bends towards justice. And he said that he fought in America not because he hated America, but because he loved America, and he wanted to help us live up to our ideals. And so year after year, time after time, the words of President Bush, one willing soul at a time, because we are making that progress. And we want future leaders to help us to continue to make that progress. But there is no guarantee of success of this American experiment of democracy. So I submit to you that for the fourth time in history, American democracy itself is under assault. Because in this time, because of technology, what you have in your smartphone. The two underlying principles of what makes this technology successful are a threat to democracy. Okay, one is it promotes rage. Okay, the algorithms, the business models, what the folks have recognized is if they want you to pay attention to what's in front of you on your screen, they are, and this is not a made-up number, but by their evaluation, you are 5 times more likely, the average American is 5 times more likely to respond to a prompt that makes them angry as to one that makes them like a person or like a product. So much of what you see now, in order to get you to press a button and go on to the next screen, is language that wants to make you believe that people on the other side of an issue are bad, evil, immoral, or their views should not matter. So that's number one. Number two, for anyone who gets their news off of their news feeds on their smartphones, it's self-reinforcing. So whatever you like, it's going to give you more information about what you like. Well, for successful democracy to work, because you want to be able to have a broad spread of information, to see views from all sides, in part because part of what democracy is all about is recognizing that your view will not always win, that sometimes you'll be in the minority. And to be in the majority, your job is to convince other people to feel the way that you do. Well, it's hard to do that if no one is paying attention to your views because they've already had a certain set of views, and the information that they're getting through social media is simply to reinforce the positions that they've already had. So those two things put democracy at risk. And we know that not just because of the challenges here in America, the increased polarization, but America's not immune from the trends worldwide. You see lots of new leaders taking place who are more authoritarian and who gain their power in part by demonizing minority groups in their own country. Okay. That is a threat to American democracy. But the good news is America has faced these threats 3 separate times in its past. At the very beginning, when the country was first founded, we broke away from the greatest empire in the world. And we had this one great leader, a guy, George Washington, who kept 13 separate colonies together, cohesive, against the mother country that they were breaking away from. And then became our first president. And 2 terms into being president, he decided to step down. He could have stayed president for life, but he recognized that that was a threat to democracy. The idea that a president, once he or she became president, could stay there forever until they died, because that's not a good system. What you want is a system where you're constantly refreshing the leadership. So he voluntarily stepped down, and he set a precedent. For over 150 years, no other American president was able to serve more than 2 terms. And when the first one did, as soon as that was over, we passed a constitutional amendment, so it never happened again. So that was a great example of a leader who knew what he was doing to help keep democracy on track in America. Second great threat, the American Civil War. We had slavery in this country. Through slavery and its implications, our country became more polarized, broke apart, and a civil war was fought about it. And fortunately, the North, the anti-slavery side, won the Civil War. And as Abraham Lincoln pointed out in his Gettysburg Address, the war was not just about slavery. It was about democracy, and in his words, about whether this government or any government so composed could long endure. His point was, if any time a minority in a country said, I don't like what the majority is doing, I can leave, well then, you don't really have a democracy, because at that point, everything is blackmail. It's you do what I want, even though I'm a minority, or I'm going to break away from you. That for democracy to endure, it's a lifelong compact. That everyone has to agree that everyone else's views have value, and what the majority decides is what we all do. And the other great thing about Lincoln was he also understood that for democracy to work, you had to recognize that the other side, no matter how awful their views were, still you had to treat them as equals and as people with moral value. So at the end of the Civil War, a group of women came up to him to say what was his plan to do with the South after the war was over. And he asked them, what do you think I should do? So they said, one of the women said, these are your enemies. You should destroy your enemies. And his answer was, ma'am, if I make my enemy my friend, do I not destroy them? And that is another great principle of democracy, is that you're trying to make the people who oppose you your friends, convince them, not demonize them and destroy them. Third great challenge that we had was right before World War II, the Great Depression. Okay. The Great Depression hit worldwide. There were many countries at that time that had followed the American style of democracy, but were then told by would-be leaders that democracy has failed you. Our economies have failed because of democracy. You need a strong man leader. That's what happened in Germany with Hitler, with Italy with Mussolini, with Russia with Stalin, with the militarists who took over in Japan. One country after another fell to democracy, collapsed, and these militarist leaders took over. But America held firm, in part because of the optimism of Franklin Delano Roosevelt, a man who spoke directly to the American people in simple words to let them know what the government was trying to do to address their concerns.
Well, I'm so excited to see everybody here, and thank you so much for sacrifice on Saturday afternoon to be here in this house and celebrate the IRF Gala. I really appreciate all of you. And you know, this year we have 26 advisors, and every one of them are distinguished, very great leaders in the community. And then, you know what, our mission is create more leaders, like the leader in here, the leader that's sitting here, like Director Chen and Joe and Mark, Mary and everybody else. And of course, I really appreciate all the board, all the advisors like Cho Mei Rui and Zheng Shuhua and all these people that help me. You know what? I feel everything I do is just like a drop of the water. It is nothing, because the world is so big. I am just a drop of the water. But you know what? I have so many drops of water. Like all the advisors here, like Wu Xiaoming has been with me for all this time, and it supports the IRF. Together, all the drops of water become the river. Sometime, someday, we will make a difference in this world. And I really appreciate to be here. Don't leave. We're going to have dinner tonight. I want to say, yesterday was fantastic. Tomorrow, not come here. But today, right now, please enjoy your time in this place. And I'm so grateful to see all of you here, and Jilin and Joe, to come all the way from Washington, D.C. to fly over just for this one event. You know what she said? She said we're the #1 in all 20 branches. We're the best. We have to keep it that way. You know what? Even though I know I'm sick and everything, but you know, that make it more urgent that I want, and I want to do the best I can for the things that I'm very passionate. This is my passion, to teach the new leader for this country. And that is the future for us, like Vanessa Lee, Krista, Chen, and also Kenneth, and Mila, and all these young people. I just love them so much. They're like my kids for me. Because I create a lot of godmother, godsister, and godmother. It was just so much fun for me. So, please enjoy the food, the music, and everything else. And thank you again to sacrifice your
your Saturday and all the politicians here. I know it's so busy for all of you, including our chief police was here. I was shocked that she was here. So I am just so grateful. Thank you so much. I'm eternally grateful and enjoy your evening. Please, thank you.